What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Ben Davison. Ben Davison hits back at unfair criticism from Tyson Fury's father, John Fury, and he claims that he contradicts himself. And this is what he has to say. Davison replies that that's the only person that the criticism came from. John's said many things. He said that he thought it would take a few years for Tyson Fury to get back at the level, and obviously he didn't expect Tyson Fury to be able to perform as he did. So he says one thing and then says another thing. But look, the reality of it is, as Tyson Fury himself said, that teams helped save his life. So I think it's unfair criticism, but it is what it is. He had some fantastic performances and set up such a huge standard in the Wilder first fight and the Tom Schwartz performance that the people had that expectation in the Wallin fight. He didn't have the same performance and therefore led to criticism. I know that Tyson performed very well in his performances and went above and beyond what people's expectations were. John Fury said of Davison, Ben's a great kid, but he was a PTI instructor 12 months ago. I know the kid. You can't expect a boy to do a man's job. He did a great job, but he was only a companion for Tyson. When it comes to technique and knowledge, I've seen a lot of flaws in his work. That's what John Fury says. So I do remember when John Fury criticized Ben Davison and counterpunched from David Haye. He was like, hey, everybody started from somewhere. And here's the thing. Your father will probably be the most highly subjective person of anybody else around you, including yourself. Let's look at it. Other father trainers, Oscar De La Hoya and his dad, Joel De La Hoya. He was always just pounding Oscar to do better. You know what I mean? Just like nagging on him. You know, not really he was always, Oscar De La Hoya always needed to show his dad, or he wanted approval from his father, and he really hardly got, because his dad was very hard on him, right? Felix Trinidad Sr., okay? Junior and Senior, same thing. They were very, very critical. He was very critical of his son's performance. You know, of course, you have John Fury and Tyson Fury. It's going to be, he's always going to be critical of certain fighters, especially if he attacks the credentials of that fighter. But I do think that Ben Davison is more of a companion than a trainer. However, what I've learned about Ben Davison is, if he was just a PTI instructor 12 months ago, okay, he has learned on the job, and he knows, and because he broke down that fight in the first fight, what the strategy was, and it was brilliant. I was very impressed in how Ben Davison explained how and what they were doing against their opponent, Deontay Wilder. So that made a believer out of me. Now, John Fury himself may not ever believe that, because he will probably, in his mind, he will always be this PTI instructor. He'll never be the guy that got his son out of depression and through depression, or through the dark stages of this depression, back into the gym, taking one day at a time, being consistent day after day after day after day, getting to that point, as he thought he would be ready for at least 3 years, but obviously not. He whipped him back in shape. He was there. So, hey, if he's just a PTI instructor, I think a companion is all you really need, right? Because he was there through thick and thin. Now, other trainers would have different strategies. That's okay. That's just another strategy, though. That's just another way of training, So, of course, John Fury will be critical of Ben Davison. You know what I'm saying? Robert Joshua, right? Father-son relationships. He's gonna, when Joshua lost, Everybody was all over the place. You know what I mean? He was ready to attack Eddie Hearn, Rob McCracken. He was ready to do the deal because he was critical. He's like, well, why did you let my son do this and do that? And you know, so a father is instinctively critical of what goes on with their son's career. That's a father, you know what I mean? That tough love. That's what John Fury's doing. But Ben Davison has a right to hit back. Like, hey, dude, I've been here when you guys didn't even think you could be here at this particular time. I done that. I was with this guy. David Hay made a good point. Hey, someone starts somewhere. So if you get promoted, that's like you get promoted to something and someone's saying, you were just a mail boy the other day. Well, dude, I'm on the 4th floor now, right? Leave me be. So, but I'm glad that, Ben Davison has, said a lot of things, and I think that he has the freedom to, because now he's not training Tyson Fury. So I think he can focus and reply the way he wants to, because he's not in the trainer. He's not that close no more. I mean, I know he's going to be at the fight. I know he's going to be supporting Tyson Fury or whatnot, but all said and done, hey, someone keeps poking at you. You got to poke back, so it's one of those things. So, I don't know, man. I think that Ben Davison is more of a friend. I think, because a friend is sometimes that's all you need. But with John Fury, he did have some talking points or whatnot. But to attack his strategy or whatever, he was able to be successful. But that's normally what happens with any trainer/fighter relationship. Look at Andy Ruiz. We're just talking about that. Andy Ruiz and Manny Robles. When he was winning, everybody, it was great. When he lost and it was his fault, they blamed Manny Robles. You know what I mean? So when everything is going to plan, it's good, it's great. You know what I mean? But the moment you lose, then all of a sudden, Ben Davison, who is he? Or Manny Robles, I think we should let you go. Things like that. The blame is faced towards the trainer, and I think that's unfair a lot of times, but that's what it is. That's how it is. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Ben Davison's statements counterpunching John Fury. Of course, please subscribe, leave your comments below, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.